Hello and welcome to an Everyday Canines video. In this episode, we're going to look at the game Foot March. So in the foot march trick, what we're looking at is we're wanting our dog to put their feet on our feet. I taught this originally to Merlin years ago, and we used to march backwards and march forwards. It's different to marching obviously along your side because of actually going to your feet. So if I show with Swift, pull, good. Other pull, good. Good girl, Sparrow. Okay, sit. Now, like a lot of tricks, there's not, a lot of tricks we look at and we go, oh, well, what's the point of doing that? Well, if you look at it from a warm-up perspective, you can use this in a warm-up to get them to stretch out their legs. So I could get them to, she's stretching that leg out, if you see. So if I was warming her up before doing something, that's just a little way of getting her to move her legs without me forcing them, pulling them. It's a little bit of a soft stretch. It's also about teaching dog coordination, understanding different paws. So she's obviously learnt that I offer this foot, she offers that leg. Good girl. And vice versa. Now with Swift, she prefers using her left paw. So this is much stronger behaviour. You can see she'll put her paw and hold it there. And I can actually feel her gripping on with her claws onto my foot. The right is weaker, so she is holding it, but she takes it away. So I can also use this trick to help her build up that right leg to encourage her to use it as evenly as using the left leg. And at the end of the day, it's a fun little trick. You can do this stood in a queue or you're bored somewhere. I do it standing in the queue when I'm doing agility, warming up for agility, but you could just do it somewhere you're just bored and you go, oh, okay, we've got nothing to do. Let's play feet. Good girl. Nice. Good girl. Okay, so when I started teaching this, Swift actually wasn't that good at giving paws for things. I know. She's much better at giving her nose. So she's got a really good nose target to her hand. Swift? So she's got a really good nose target. So she's not a dog. Whereas Sparrow, if I showed a hand to Sparrow, she automatically pulls up a paw. Swift doesn't. So I had to think outside the box a little bit. But what I knew she did do is this is one of them human bobble things, exercise pods. And I knew if I showed her that, Swift would instantly put a paw on it because we've done a lot of foot target work. Good girl. Oops. Sit, Sparrow. Okay, break. So what I thought was like, right, I've already got this behaviour. How can I transfer it to my foot? Swift, can you sit? So what I did is I got the ball out and you can see she's offering her favourite paw as always left. So then what I did is I started to put my foot on it. Hey, look, she's put her foot on my paw. She's not even thinking about it at this point. That's what she's doing. Just because my foot is there. So then what I did is I started pulling the pod back so that my foot was more prominent. Keep moving the paw back. And you can see she's not really even giving it much thought, but I put my paw out. There's your foot. This took a little bit of time to get, but honestly, it didn't take more than a week. So then, get rid of the pod. Good girl, Sparrow. And so now I start offering just the foot. And initially I started really low down, so it was easy for her to reach it. Then we started to get higher up. And then I would ask for longer behaviour. So she's got to hold it there longer before she gives a reward. So the next thing, I'm getting really good hits with her left paw, which is her favourite paw. But now I want the other paw. So that was harder to do. And I didn't go back to a foot target. I just started offering this foot. And because initially she's going to use her left. So I kept offering it until I got a little bit of movement with the right. It wasn't a lot of movement at first, but it was just enough. Just a little. Good. And then I encouraged that. And so then what I started to do is when we were playing the game, I'd ask her to do maybe one left. Then I'd ask her to do a couple right. Other paw. Good girl. Good girl. So we do a couple right. So I build up the value for that leg. And initially, I'll be honest with you, she couldn't do more than 2 reps on that leg. And then she wanted to go back to the left paw. Again, showing me not only she's got a favouritism in that left paw, but she's all more confident, more comfortable using it, possibly even a bit of strength training if you think about it. Perhaps she's more confident balancing that one way than the other. So we kept playing this game every day. What? For 30 seconds a day? No more than that. So then we get to a stage where we can do this. Now, you notice I don't have words particularly with that. My cue is really the foot. I can say words, and she has got paw, other paw. But on the whole, I'm quite happy for her to do that just with, oops, mistake, just with me showing the foot. Now, I haven't got a lot of room to show you doing this with movement, but if I can just shuffle this way, good guess, Bear. What I taught with my older Sheltie Merlin is we can do it on the move. So, yeah, I know. So you lift a foot and then you step a little bit back and step back and step back. And you work backwards and your dog follows you putting their paws out. Once you've built that up, you can go the other way, getting them to move backwards. Again, this is getting them to really think about their coordination. They're building up strength because they're standing up now, so they've got to balance. So they're building up their core. It's a load of fun for them, and they're really having to use and think their brains. And once they get this trick, it's loads of fun to keep doing, isn't it? And she'll just do this forever. Good girl. Nice. Okay, right, so let's think about if you haven't got the foot target. You might have to teach that first off. Now, you don't have to have a foot target onto a pod if you haven't got one of these pods. I have also taught a foot target. Wait there, Sparrow. This isn't what I used, but this is a CD case. Remember CDs? They are old tech. I used actually a coaster when I was first doing this, but what you can do is, oh, that is so cute, and you just offered that. Thank you. Bless her, I've not taught her that, she just offered that. Because she's going, you've talked a long while, I want sausage, let me demonstrate what I can do for you. Okay, so, that was very nice. So when I was doing this and I was looking at Sparrow, what I wanted to do is obviously I want her off her paw. So if I haven't got that, and I want to start by getting her to foot target something that I can then transfer to my foot, I can use a target board. Good. Now, she always knows a bit of foot targeting, but if you were doing this with a dog that knew nothing, good. What you would do is you'd put something down, and good. You'd perhaps just put a little something on it, good girl, so that they would see a bit of value to it. Can you move? So let's just try that. So there's a bit of value to it, and you just keep waiting to the good girl, getting them to offer putting a paw onto it. This is a game that many people use when they're teaching contacts. Good girl. And you'll see them doing that with contacts. It's a game I love to teach my dogs because it gives you so much you can use for other games. So I can give her, see if we do this way. I know you're going to do it. Yes, good girl. So I just start to move it around. Yeah, good girl. Give her the chance to put her foot on it. I'm also using this. Come here, Sparrow, because you're out of the shop. Come here. And down. Also using this to teach her another game, which is cross your paws. Good girl. So yeah, so play with that. Play with anything you've got. Coaster. I don't know, you could use a book or just something that's easy and light. Good girl. Obviously, if you've got a pod like that, you can use that and start building up on a foot touch. Can you do that? Good girl. Good girl. I mean, if you've got something like that, it's probably even easier to do because all you have to do is encourage your dog to start moving forward onto it and they start putting their paw onto it. Good girl. You're doing ever so well. So that would be your foundation point for starting this game. Okay, that's enough, girls. Go there. For starting this game before you move on to your foot. The other way you could do this game, and I'm not sure if this will work because it's not something that Sparrow will do automatically. The Shelties seem to be a bit keener on doing this. But the way I taught Merlin, he didn't have foot targets. So I just started by offering him, thank you, my foot. And when I started it, Sparrow, good girl. When I started it, I just put my foot, good girl, really near. And I shaped it. So I encouraged any sort of behaviour towards my foot. So that is kind of a movement. It's not what I want, she's really going down, but I was encouraging that. It took a lot longer with him to teach this without the foot target. So it seemed to be harder for him to appreciate putting something on my foot rather than having a target he could instantly go to. But we did eventually get there by just offering, by me just offering my foot and then getting him to, good girl, then getting him to put paws on my foot, which Sparrow's not going to do because she's looking at me. But that was a game we did play and we got there. So there are a lot of ways you can teach this and get there with your dog. And it's a lot of fun in the end of the day, you know. Play with it, be patient with it, and enjoy teaching your dog something brand new. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and check us out on Facebook and Instagram. And I hope to see you all again very, very soon.